There are four reasons we want you to have an email available for us to use when you're in the SP4F sales membership. And they're all important, but I'll cover them here. So, first of all, when you're sharing information about your products or services, it often is sensitive information. And we want you to control where that goes and who you share it with as best we can. So that's security benefit, right? And IP protection benefits. The less you have shared with external email systems and drive folders, the better. So this is just an option for you. It's unlikely that anything's going to really happen, but having your own email for us to use means you're in control of how you change permissions for that content that you put into that drive folder or link to us for access. So in this step, you're going to link a folder of content um, and you can share it with a particular email. So this is the option you have. You can share it with us direct, but we recommend you doing it this way. Secondarily, I've seen a lot of small businesses just use a Gmail and it doesn't make you look like a real business when you're going to a new prospect who doesn't know about your company. If you have someone that you just have met, they are not going to really care if it's a Gmail versus a workspace email that is just for your business, custom. But if you're going to go talk to someone who doesn't know you, they're going to want to see that you look like a real business. Otherwise, there's a few things, they could think you don't have any money to be a proper business. They could think you're maybe a risk to work with because you just don't look legit. And that can impact not only their trust in you, but also their ability to present you to their leadership teams. So, like if you're having to build a sales case for your product or service, and there's going to be decision makers at a higher level that need to look at your company, they're not going to just look at your product content or solution decks. They're going to look at your company. So I have found simply having a business email for whoever's on your sales team, it both increases credibility around your business, but also makes it look like you have a bigger team because you've got someone reaching out with a custom email for your company. Now, third, having that email asset for your business is something that can be used for outreach campaigns. So if you are wanting to try some email sequences, having a dedicated email that we can experiment with is helpful. If it ever gets to a point where we're doing a serious volume, or you want to try to do higher volume after we've proven some messaging and strategies in terms of how we present your value, there is room for us to help you prop up some dummy email domains. But typically, I'm going to point you towards someone that's just does that kind of work because we are not focused on high volume email campaigns. There's a lot of options out there though. So if you want to do outreach campaigns, there's benefit there. And then additionally, sometimes when you're collaborating with a partner like us, there's benefit in just having a channel to communicate certain information. So having a dedicated email that we get to use allows you to share certain kinds of information with more control. And like if it's a very sensitive bit of competitive content about your product or service. So that's what we're wanting you to do this for. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about it, let me know.